What is up, everybody? Hello there. Hold on one second. I'm going to share my live to my personal page. So maybe I can I'm going to share my live. Hold on one second. Look at that. Hey, y'all. There. Hold on one second. I'm going to share my live to my live. Hold on one second. Look at that. Hey, y'all. There. Hold on one second. I'm going to share my live to my live. Hold on one second. Okay. Look at that. Hey, y'all. There. All right. I don't want to be. All right. All right. So, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? I'm Sarai, the DIY nail care educator. At least that's what's on my. Yeah. Why would I say that? Okay. Scratch what I just said. Y'all didn't hear that. But anyway, I have notes so that I won't ramble. Anyway, I titled my live, I didn't create the value, I discovered it. So just want to tell you, if y'all don't already know, that I'm a nail tech, licensed nail tech. I've been a licensed nail tech since 2013. And if y'all have not had a look at my Facebook page, I want to go to it real quick. So I'm going to show y'all real quick. I'm going to switch my camera around. Okay, so this, can y'all see this? Okay, so I just want y'all to see this real quick. So it says, I'm going to read it. So this is my Facebook page. Y'all go to it if y'all haven't already followed me. And my intro here, it says, share my passion of my intrinsic career through the written posts, videos, and photos I share. Update on description 3/12/2018. I want to stand out from the typical nail tech. This stylist right here, which is me, is going to bless you every time you see me. So I updated this in 2018. It's 2026 now, so it's been what? How many years is that? 8 years? 8 years, you guys? So it's been 8 years since I've had this page. But I've had it longer than that, but I updated it. I think it used to be called I Love Your Nails or something else like that when I was like working at a salon. One of those standard salons. I used to live in Fort Worth. And so I just would say the reason why I wanted to go live, because of that word that you seen in there. I wanted to share my passion of my intrinsic career, not just any career, but an intrinsic. And intrinsic, when I found out what intrinsic means, it's like, it's a artistic word. It's not normal, but it's like belonging. It says belonging naturally, and essential. So when I said that, me having my page is to share and me being a nail tech, is to share my passion for my intrinsic career. So it's a interesting. It's a not based on the what people would perceive the nail industry to be or what it is to be a nail tech. Like I knew like that I wanted to stand out and I wanted to be a nail tech that not just do the regular thing that people expect. You know, oh, just, book a service or go to the nail tech, go to the salon, get your nails done, look pretty, and you get this fancy stuff put on your nails or whatever. But, like every other nail tech that I know, that went to school and we learned, we know that there's a lot that goes into being doing nails. It's not just put this product on here and build it out and sculpt it to where it looks like a nice, pretty design. Like we had to learn pretty much the same things that, well, not the same thing as RNs, but we do go into things that the nurses have to learn about the anatomy of the body, the skin structure, the nail structure, diseases, disorders, and CNAs and people in the medical field, have to their prerequisites of getting into the field that they in. We had to know that too, because like anytime, like in any profession where you're touching somebody, you're working on their body, you're working on their, something that's a part of them. Like our skin is the largest organ in on our body, and we need to know what is being put on it, right? So I'm like I'm going more in depth than I intend to on here or whatever, but I say that to say is that like the purpose of nail care that is intrinsic is more than the ordinary do your service and you pay me and then go about your business and I'll see you in 2-3 weeks. It's more than just about outward adornment. It's about nail care is just like what self-care is about. Taking care of something on your body. Like, would you wash your hair without washing your face? Would you wash your face without washing the midsection of your body? Would you wash everything else and then forget to wash your feet? You know what I'm saying? So it's like that with your hands, and we value our hands a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? Because we work with them. These hands and these nails are not just for, women to go clickety-clack. You know what I'm saying? And sport this nice yellow polish or acrylic color or designs or anything. I want to take it back. I take it back all the way to the beginning, like, in God, like, because I am a minister and I have my delight more than anything is to share the gospel and to relate, and not only share the gospel, but relate the gospel to everything that we do, because it all points back to Christ. It all glorifies Christ. And Christ is ultimately is God as well. So everything that we do, everything that we say, everything that we wear, everything, how we do things, our attitude should reflect the glory of God. That's what he made us for. We are a representation of him. We're made in his image. And he says, let his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So that's what makes my career intrinsic, because it's more than what I do for a living, for a profit, that sets me apart from the ordinary professional in my industry. And you could probably say the same thing about your profession in your industry. You know what I'm saying? You should have an intrinsic value. Here we go. We're getting into it, okay? You should have an intrinsic value versus a perceived value. And I'm just now learning. When I learned that word, when I used that word back then when I updated intrinsic, but like I knew what it was, but I didn't know until like a few days ago when I watched these YouTube videos from a person who teaches like business principles and stuff based on the word of God. And so one thing that stood out, he was talking about intrinsic value versus perceived value. And I was like, I know that word because I said it. And so it got me thinking. So, I asked my virtual assistants to, kind of help me understand really what that is over there, because I know I have a sense of what it is because I used it, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know the depth of it until just now. So, and I learned that even though I was using that language, I was saying that word like I was ahead of myself in a sense. So, intrinsic value is based on something or someone's true nature. So my intrinsic value, my business intrinsic value is not based on what people perceive. It's not based on something that can change. Trends can change. We know time change. Yesterday's time is not today's time. Yesterday prices is not today's prices. So money changes, right? People change, and their preferences change. So I knew that I didn't want my business foundation to be on something that changes. So my intrinsic value was set in place before I even realized it, and it was something that would remain the same regardless of if people knew about it, if people agreed about it. But one day, God was going to have my intrinsic value catch up with, or have people's perceived value of what the nail industry of nail care catch up with the intrinsic value of it. You don't think God cares about your nails? You don't think God cares about your hands? You don't think God cares about what you do with your hands? Sure, you can do whatever it is. I mean, he's not going to stop you from doing whatever it is you do with your hands, your nails, your feet, your skincare, your hair. He doesn't care. I mean, he cares, but he's not going to stop you doing whatever you want to do. I mean, because you got a free will. But he does care what you do with them. He does care that you take care of the thing that he gave you stewardship over, because your body is not your own body. Your body is a shell, is just a home for you, who your true nature is. Oh my God. I ain't gonna be too long. Because I feel, this is a whole sermon or something that I'm giving. This is a whole devotion that I'm giving. And one of the reasons why I wanted to, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to go live and talk about a little bit of this. And I'm just, because, you know, I have a nail ministry devotional coming up, a virtual, you know, meeting on January 31st that, like, I put it in my newsletter update. I'm going to share that in the comments once I finish the live. Yeah. So let me get back to what, so I talked about what intrinsic value is, right? Now perceived value is based on something that people feel, assume, or told. Perceived value is based on things that change. Intrinsic value is based on something that is true to nature. It don't change. So your intrinsic value needs to be based on the purpose that God gave you. Yeah. Or your calling. And I just knew that, like, I decided to pursue my profession because I wanted to be set apart. I wanted to do something outside the norm. Hence the reason why my intrinsic value, the intrinsic value of my business, developed the core of my brand, and my brand is nail ministry. If y'all don't believe that each person, no matter what you do in life, even if you're doing it for a living, if it's your calling, it's worth so much more than just receiving a paycheck. The intrinsic value of you doing what you love, doing what you've always had the dream of doing, is for the nature of glorifying God. So I put the title of my live, I didn't create the value, I discover it. And so if you don't hear anything else, or if you skip to the end of this or whatever, just hear me when I say that I don't create value, I reveal it. My work has intrinsic worth. Perception is just catching up with it. My brand, nail ministry. So if you're just coming in, or if you catch the replay, you kind of like skimming through things or whatever, I've been talking about intrinsic value versus perceived value, and what the intrinsic value of my business is. So if you go to my page, if you hear for the first time and you just happen to see it in your feed, follow me on my page. Follow me on my personal page, which is Sarai D. Dogan. Yeah, because I'm trying to get up enough followers so that I can go live. I started my personal page like back in October or whatever, and so before then I was like all over the place with my content, being a little wishy-washy. I talk about God and minister, and then you'll see me dancing to secular songs and stuff. So I had to clean that up. And get serious. And I was always serious. But people would perceive that I'm playing with God because of what I post. So I had to deny myself and stick to one thing. And I'd rather stick to the kingdom of God. I rather I'd rather stick to the intrinsic value of my business. I'd rather stick to the core, the substance of it that don't change, versus me trying to fit the perception of everybody else and what they think that it's supposed to be. Cause it's gonna change one day, and it's gonna be like this one day, and it's gonna be something different, totally something different the next day. And I don't want my business to, or my brand to be wishy-washy, like the uncertainty of society. So, that's my live, y'all. Nail ministry is the brand, the core of my business, which is 31 Status Nails and Beauty. And one of the events that I have this month, January 31st, I'm having a nail ministry virtual gathering. So more of this talk would be going on, and hopefully a few of my nail tech business besties would join me and talk about how they are set apart in their business and what they do outside of the norm, what people perceive us to do and be. And I do want y'all to check out, I do want y'all to download my nail ministry devotional, where it talks about nail care from God perspective, and not our own normal perspective of just getting your nails done so they can be cute and you can feel confident, and you can look like you got it all together. But you know, if you don't have your spirit, if you don't have the motive, the right motive, if your heart, your mind, your body, if this flesh is not in line with God's purpose, then you missing something still, and you're gonna still feel void and empty. You're gonna always feel incomplete. All right, so I think that was long enough, you guys, and thank you for taking the time to listen. For those who will catch the replay because you're so busy. I'm not being condescending. I apologize if you took it like that. But yeah, it is 8:30. Surely by now I would think that y'all got the kids to bed, and you didn't fed your husband. He down for the count, and you on your way to bed. And you know, while you was putting on your taking off your makeup and getting ready for bed yourself, putting on your bonnet, you would have been listening. But hey, if you're watching in a replay, put in the comments replay. And yeah, like, follow, subscribe, comment on this video, and let me know what your thoughts is, and let me know what you do, okay, so we can connect. I'll talk to y'all later.